How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. It's the big thing. It's Monday. Monday. That's what it is. And you guys are here joining us on the live edition of the big thing. I hope that you are joining us here. Maybe you're joining us on Spotify. I know that we're growing in Spotify. And how do I know that? Because anytime I forget to put it on Spotify, I get a comment right away. Very kind comments, but comment right away. Hey, when's this dropping on Spotify? I love those comments, by the way. I love them. It makes me go, whoops. And I've been better at it. I think Spotify listeners can say I've been better at it now every time because I know we've been growing there. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Listen, man, we've been having a good couple of weeks here. We are at now 142,000 subscribers, and we're trying to reach 150 now. That's the goal, 150. So we hope that if you're joining us for the first time, you'll hit the button because we got a lot to talk about. I had a lot of different movie stories that I was going to lead with today. And I saw, we had the Lion King, the Mufasa trailer that dropped, Deadpool and Wolverine as reshoots. Sony pushed back Karate Kid and Kraven. And then I saw that the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight, which it doesn't even matter. Even like I said, there's 102 people watching right now. It's not, people are going to brush right over this topic and not click on it. I don't care. I needed to cover this because this is going to be a fight that people are going to be talking about because it's so monumental on a lot of different reasons. Is Tyson 60 years old, and would he have taken care of Jake Paul in 33 seconds in 1987? Of course he would have. But it's important because it's a fight on Netflix, and you're not paying for it unless you have Netflix. It's a subscription service to it. It could be a game changer, and not only is it a game changer that way, it's also could be a game changer here in the rules because it originally was supposed to be an exhibition fight, and that's not the case anymore. So Rocha and I are going to discuss that and see. I believe this is the death warrant for Jake Paul. But when it was exhibition, I thought that it maybe he had a chance. I think it's over, and I'll explain why. Speaking of other things inside of combat sports, we talk about wrestling when Rocha and I are on, and there's a lot of stuff that's been going on well with the WWE. We're talking about it. Well, AEW has been doing, whether you're a fan of AEW or not, you can't question it. A couple of decisions lately have been a bit questionable. And Tony Kahn, who runs the whole place, was during the draft. I have no problem people taking bumps, and you want to be part of your storyline. That's fun. If you're going to sell an angle. Brace, you go like this. Hey, what's going on? and that's not, you can't do that. And then you go on, ESPN, you start talking crap about WWE. I don't know about the decision itself. I don't watch enough of AEW anymore or at all to really say whether they're bad company or not. I'll let Rocha do that. Anyway, that's what we're going to be discussing here today. So if you want to throw in your super chats, throw them in there. What Rocha and I will do, we'll go through all the topics, and then we'll cover your questions at the end. So you guys, the people that are watching right now, you guys are the ones that understand this is a topic that we want to talk about. I did this on purpose because I knew it. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this Tyson fight as a topic, and people are just going to go, well, you're not talking about comic book movies today. You're not talking about this, so I'm not clicking on it. That's a mistake. And I'm going to start changing that up with the channel as well, too, because it can't be the only thing that you guys click on. I want people to start to realize more. There's more things to talk about, and we talk about it all. But it's usually the thing that leads and gets people in, then you stick around for the conversation. But that's got to change. You people in here have to change that. I've got to change it. You got to change it. We got to be talking about everything, not just Star Wars and Marvel. You got to talk about everything. Cover those things for sure, and we will. But it's a lot to get off my chest. I got Rocha. I got you guys. Let's have a good conversation here today. I'm ready. Rocha says he's in a mood, so good luck to y'all. Let's get into the big thing. How's it going, everybody? Look at me. I'm in focus. I got John Rocha here. Rocha, what's the mood about?
What's going on? Well, it's been a busy weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. The NFL draft, as you said, the AEW stuff, WWE stuff. We got a new trailer for Mufasa, the Lion King. And what you're talking about is something that is really interesting when you're talking about your channel. That's also something I've been kind of kicking around in my head as well. Well, the way I started out my channel was sports and pro wrestling and movies and TV and talking politics and all this stuff. And now I veered away from it to kind of focus on the entertainment thing. So to hear you saying the things you're saying, I'm like, yeah, this is where we're going now, is we're all going to a place where we're opening up and talking about more things because the world is talking about more things. So people have to kind of open their minds a bit more to receive that kind of conversation and receive what's going on, because important shit's going on. It's more, we can't hide out in comic book movies anymore. Important stuff's going on.
You know what it is though, dude? It's like that thing that people say all the time that's wrong when they go, Hollywood only makes remakes and they never make original stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. If you go on any streaming platform, you go on any streaming servers, you go on, there's a lot of movies, smaller movies that are original movies that are and ideas that are remade all the time. People are spending their money on the things that they know. And it's the same thing when it comes to thumbnails and it comes to titles. I can put out, something like we did a video of Koi Jandro reacting to those old G.I. Joe PSA things, right? And it was a hilarious video.
Yeah.
But I knew nobody was going to watch it. But I wanted to give it a test.
Right.
And I had to take it down because it was just going to hurt the algorithm. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And for our show, I'm like, look, we have a thing where we do talk about everything. Monday and Wednesday and Thursday really are my playgrounds on this channel to discuss all things pop culture. Right?
Yeah.
It really is. Like Thursday, we're going to cover the summer movie preview. We did one with Mance, but it was on Patreon. So we're going to do a full summer movie preview with Roxy and Brett. So that'll be fun, right? Nice. Wednesday, we get to play. Friday's the comic book movie. Tuesday's the UFO thing. So I get to play here as well with you. And especially we play a little bit more because we can talk wrestling. We can talk. We can talk all those things. And I just think that if the audience gets conditioned with it too, of going, oh, this is a different story that I'd like to see them. So the people, again, 245, 250 people, like, if I would have led with Deadpool today, we probably have like 600 people in here right now. Right. But I made the decision today to say, you know what? This is something I want to lead with. It's something overall that I want to talk about. We could still, because there's nothing to say, and I still will do this. I'm not going to pretend I'm not, but there's still going to be times where, okay, I know that I want to cover, let's say Tyson and Paul, I want to cover that, and we're going to cover about 20 minutes, but I really want people to watch it and get into it. So and the other story I want to talk about is Deadpool. So I'll lead with it so I can have people that will stay and listen to it. I know the strategy works. I understand it, but today I was like, no, I'm leading with that. And those people who decide to come in, they're the ones that are going to catch the live show and enjoy it with us.
Yeah.
I saw somebody mentioning
welcome everybody.
Yes, welcome everybody. We're doing, because dude, I'm going to New York in like 2 weeks to set up the studio.
Woo.
And I have to thank people here too, because check this out. I mean, already when I had
nice.
This is what they've already some of the peeps have already purchased. We had the mic stands, the mic stand, the mic stands, these frames, and it's really great. And I can't thank you guys enough. We always put the Amazon wish list in there, but people have been very supportive of the move, and we got some great things happening. So we're excited.
I've been
listening to that song in loop. Listen to that song in loop. Let's talk about this thing, man, because I gotta talk about it. We just built it up for so long.
Yeah.
Tyson versus Paul. It's a big event. I mean, it's a massive event. Now, some people could say it is sad in a certain aspect that, you've got these two people, one guy who's past his prime, one guy's kind of YouTube star, overall, and I take nothing away from the Paul brothers or what they've done.
Sure.
Sports in general. It's no small feat they essentially are the reason people talk about boxing, minus what's Ryan Garcia. Is that the guy's name who's like the big superstar now?
Oh yeah. Who pulled the upset? Last week. Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy that's talking about boxing, but boxing for the most part has been handled terribly, and it just does. It was my sport for a very long time, and it's just handled terribly now. And this type of event is what people are going to be talking about, but it's Netflix that gets the big win here because this is a smart move. I know they don't call them pay-per-views or whatever it might be now, but like to have an event like this on something that you just stream, this is kind of groundbreaking, no?
Yeah, this is huge. Yeah, for a number of reasons. I think number one, because you've got Mike Tyson involved, and a lot of people have seen the Mike Tyson training videos over the last few years, and you're just awed at the still ferocity and speed that Tyson has. And certainly a lot of people have come for Jake Paul because he's fought these guys who are not necessarily in their prime or not necessarily boxers. to build himself up, right? And so you've seen that. But Logan on the other side has done an incredible job at WWE and has really promoted himself strongly and done that. And he's also talked about the work he's done on himself to become a better person because of all that drama from a few years ago and the stuff he said. And with Jake, it's the same kind of thing. He's kind of moving into this place to try to redeem and reimagine himself. So taking on Mike Tyson, though, I think a lot of people are like, maybe he's biting off a little more than he can chew. The fear for those of us who grew up with Mike Tyson is this a little bit of a stage thing like we saw with Mayweather? Is he just going to make that money, put it in his pocket and roll on because Mike's an entertainer? And you may talk about this being leading with Tyson and Paul, but Mike Tyson has been in movies. Mike Tyson has done one-man shows. Mike Tyson is an entertainer. It still fits the overall general topic conversation of entertainment.
So I agree with that. And this is why I think that these new rules are such a game changer.
Yeah, right? What are the new rules? I don't know what the new rules are. Read them off.
So I agree with the fact that I said, like, when it was exhibition, I'm like, Tyson's just going to play around for a little bit. He knows he's going to make his money. He can perform a little bit. He's not going to make this kid look too bad. It's an exhibition match. Who cares? Whatever. Now, these are the new rules. The bout is an officially sanctioned professional fight. It's no longer an exhibition. Okay. Yeah. The result will be recorded on result will be recorded on official records. Knockouts are permitted. Wow. The fight will consist of 8 2-minute rounds. Fighters will wear 14-ounce gloves. No headgear will be used via ESPN.
Wow.
I think that Jake Paul just signed his death warrant. I'm telling you. I think because Mike Tyson cannot put a loss on, I don't care if he's 60, 70, 80 years old.
Yeah.
Because Jake Paul can't win here. Because if Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
You beat a 60-year-old.
Yeah, right.
You can't win. If Tyson loses, they're going to go, Mike shouldn't have done that. Especially if Mike gets knocked out.
Right.
Then they say, well, Mike shouldn't have done that. Mike Tyson is going to do everything in his power now to knock this guy's head off, to say, this was a stupid decision, kid.
Yeah.
And, they're both going to get paid. Jake Paul's going to get paid a lot of money and balls of steel.
Yeah.
I don't care if Mike Tyson is 90 years old in a wheelchair. If you're fighting Mike Tyson, you have balls of steel, because that's the other thing, though, dude.
Yeah.
You can stand toe to toe with Nick Diaz, who's tough mother F.
Oh, yeah.
You can stand toe to toe with all these guys, and you can look at him in the face, and you can get the moxie to fight. You ain't standing there going eye to eye with Mike Tyson and not having a little dump in your pants. You just It's gonna be very real once he's looking at Mike in that. I think the intimidation is gonna get to him. I think Tyson wins this.
Again, it's just him. Like, I get why you'd set this up, because how many people growing up were like, oh, I'd take $2 million to get knocked out by Mike Tyson and all that kind of stuff. Well, now you got him all these years later, and it's great publicity for you. And now you're going to be in the ring. But like you said, it's the great quote from Mike Tyson: everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And this is where we're going to find out what Jake is made of, and because also Tyson can't take this. Would be embarrassing for Tyson, as you said, if he just kind of danced around the ring and kept it. People would see through it. So he's going to bring the fire, and he's going to bring the hammer to this guy. 8 rounds, 2 minutes each. That's 16 minutes total in the ring with Mike Tyson, and this motherfucker's knocked people out in the first minute. So it's scary.
I think so. And look, he's 60 years old, and he throws punches still faster than most 40-year-olds, 30.
Watch the training videos. They're up. The current training videos right now are up, and it's scary. Yeah.
And again, not to take it, Jake Paul and his brother, both athletes, both very. Jake Paul is not a celebrity boxer. He's a fighter. He's a boxer. He has earned the right to be called a professional boxer. He's a professional boxer. But even if you look at a professional boxer, let's say he's had 8 professional, I don't know what it is, but let's say 8 professional fights, whatever it might be. You're going up against a guy with big fight. I mean, this guy was doing big fights in his sleep.
Yeah.
Tyson was the biggest. He was the Michael Jordan. He was the Tiger Woods. He was everything. He was everything. This type of thing, this kind of event, this ain't going to phase Tyson as far as nerves.
Yeah.
That's not the only thing that Tyson could be in his head is going, you know, when I lose to this kid, this is not going to be good. Like if Tyson gets knocked out by this guy, like that's going to be bad. Like it's like when Liddell fought Tito again, like when it was way past the expiration date.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you know, Tito's go, yeah, I beat him. It's like, dude, Liddell destroyed you every time you guys fought. And now when the guy is, you know, can't even put his arms up anymore, you're celebrating, you just knock them out. Like,
I was there for that live at the forum. I was there. My friend Todd McIntosh had free tickets through connections, and he reached out to me. He said, you want to go see this fight? I went to go see the fight with Tito and Chuck, because I like Chuck. I've always loved Chuck.
Love Chuck.
And then when he beat him, it was like, oh man, you could tell Chuck didn't have it anymore.
No.
And so when he was celebrating, I was like, what are you celebrating? What are you possibly celebrating? It was such a useless victory. It did worse for him winning than if he had lost. So
let me use a Schmodown reference for you. So if you tomorrow, right, you finally got to play JT, you and Nost, you guys are talking about. Let's say you guys are talking about movies right now every day, the two of you, for the last couple of years, 2 years.
Yeah.
And these two guys haven't been doing anything whatsoever. And then I was like, hey, you know what? Let's do a rematch, but they're both going to be drunk. And then you guys beat them, you know, you finally beat them.
TKO them. Yeah.
You're gonna is that you know, there's that little bit of you like, finally we beat these guys, but then you're like, yeah, but not when it counted.
No, like beating Jeff in that celebrity match. It's not, I still don't consider it a real victory over Snyder. Because
and this is no offense to you until you said that. I totally forgot it even happened.
Yeah, see, and that's the truth of it.
And that
doesn't this feel like Rocky Balboa? Doesn't this feel like
it does.
Jake is like Mason the Line Dixon,
kind of.
Tyson is Rocky, and coming back at this older age,
sure,
and trying to do something.
It's like, well, the only difference it would be like, you know, if Tyson came back to try to fight like, you know, Ryan Garcia, or like, or if he came back to try to fight like, you know, Tyson Fury, like then that's more the Rocky Balboa. This is, again, an athlete, a guy. This is it's as much of it's a real fight, but it's as much of a stunt as anything else too. Yeah. And it's also a huge win for you if you can have Mike Tyson go up against a guy in a freaking Barney costume. It'll pull ratings for you, and especially from a guy like Jake Paul, who's been pulling ratings on the fights he's been doing. He goes up against Tyson. It's like, I think that the best win scenario in this whole thing is that it either goes 6 rounds to where Tyson stops him in the 6th, and Paul just put up a hell of a fight, but he stopped him in the 6th, or Tyson had the best of him for the majority of it. Paul had like 1 or 2 good rounds. Tyson wins a decision, right? Which is, to me, that'll probably smell a little bit more like, Tyson let him, you know, play with him a little bit. But the worst case scenario is either a first round knockout by either one of them. Because if Tyson goes in there and just wrecks him, and you go, well, that, you know, you pretty much just kind of negate the entire thing Jake Paul was doing the last couple of years. So you don't expect that to happen.
Right.
But I don't want to see Mike get knocked out. I really don't. I don't want to see, because to me, that's just like, you know, it would be depressing. It'd be depressing. Yeah.
Jake is 9-1 right now. His only loss was to Tyson Fury's brother, Tommy Fury.
Right.
But he's beaten Tyron and Tyson Woodley, Anderson Silva, who's not a boxer, he's a UFC guy, Nate Diaz as well.
Nate Diaz. I keep saying Nate Diaz, right?
Yeah, Andre August, Ryan Borland, who's a former Golden Gloves champion.
But Nate does have hands. Nate Diaz has hands. Nate Diaz can box. Nate's got that's his strength. It's like so. But again, that's my point, is that he's going up against guys in particularly in a weight class. Also,
none of these guys have the resume of Tyson, though.
Jeez. No, and none of them. Nobody hits like Tyson. I don't care at 60, whatever. Like, that dude is still throwing mega bombs. And they asked, speaking to Chuck Liddell, they asked Liddell about that fight, and he goes, "Power's the last thing to go."
Ask Foreman, who won the title, in his 50s or 40s when he won it.
40s, I think it was. But but still, I mean, the boxing is boxing. I remember when growing, it has since changed, but in the 80s, even in Rocky 3, they reference it. In the 80s, 35 years old for a boxer was old.
Yes.
In the 80s. Now, you got Bernard Hopkins kind of changed that.
Right.
Bernard was fighting into his early 40s for sure, maybe even mid 40s. But 60s is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And for 8 rounds, like Tyson's in better shape now than he was, even when he was on his decline in like 2003.
Yeah.
But I think Mike Tyson even said it when he lost. It was a Kevin McBride, that horrible fight that he lost against Kevin McBride. He goes, I can't be losing to people like this. I'm done. His heart was heavy. He said, well, why do you do this? He goes, to pay my bills. I think he has the hunger to get back in there right now.
This is a different Tyson. As you said, the Tyson from before, as he was falling apart at the end of his career, was a Tyson who was lost, didn't know what else he wanted to do with his life, had survived all these situations. And I'm not trying to, I know some people feel about what he did and went to jail for it. Totally respect that. But he was a guy who clearly was a bit lost emotionally, spiritually, mentally, on a number of levels. The Mike Tyson of the last 20 years, from the Hangout to the one-person shows to the biographies to the stuff with Evander Holyfield running a business together, this is a different Mike Tyson.
He reinvented himself.
He reinvented himself. He found peace in a way like Foreman did.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're getting a Mike Tyson who is at peace with himself, at one with himself, who understands who he is. And that's a dangerous Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And to get in the ring with a guy like that, I just hope it isn't anything. So I hope it doesn't hurt him in a very severe way, because it's very possible he could knock his ass out. And especially if Jake messes around. If Jake messes around with him to try to goad him, oh man,
I don't think he will. No, this isn't that. I mean, him and Nate Diaz were really going back and forth with each other. They might try to hype the fight up at the press conference or something with some words, but Jake Paul has nothing but respect for Tyson, and how could you not? He might try to do some stuff when he's in the ring, but I don't think it's going to be anything disrespectful, because he also knows the kind of respect that comes with Tyson overall in general. When you fight someone like Nate Diaz, right, people are going to want to see you go back and forth, because you can get Nate kind of heated up, and you want to see Nate go back and forth, because that's what Nate does. Nate is great at smack talk, and you want to see that back and forth between the two of them. Yeah. Tyson's a living legend. I mean, he's a living legend, and
you want that guy on your side by the end of the fight, right?
And that's what's going to happen. They're going to be. I mean, so. To go back to what you said earlier, though, which is a concern and a valid concern, is that they're like, look, let's just take it light for a bit. We'll throw some. We said it's not exhibition anymore, but let's throw some light shots, and then then we'll scrap by the 5th. Let's get to the 5th, and then we'll scrap. And you can see that happening, and then by the 5th, and Jake Paul's like, by the 5th, these guys are gonna be gassed. So that's good for me if you can get that agreement going. But I don't know. It's because there's nothing. They want to make sure they have the money. Netflix is want to make sure that they have the time, and it's not a first round knockout. So anyway, what do you guys think, man? You guys think this is do you think that the new rules? Do you think that changes things up? Or do you think it's the same old, same old? I see a lot of people putting in super chats and a lot of things coming in there too. So we'll get to the super chats for sure after all the topics. And I want to thank. I had a guy reach out to me over the weekend, Danny, and I told him that I would in Instagram. Who said, "Listen, I heard you. I understand you're moving to New York. I understand everything what you're doing, and I just want to let you know that when I hear you when you talk about, I do get things for myself." When it comes to the sponsors and it comes to things too. So, and he thanked me because he got himself Athletic Greens. So speaking of AG1, and I also want to tell you guys about Mack Weldon, which I'm wearing these shirts. These Mack Weldon shirts are the bomb. My wife was like, honey, look at you. And I was like, yeah, man, Mack Weldon. I got the white shirts. I got the white shirts, the t-shirts, the black shirts. So let me tell you about both AG1 and Mack Weldon, and please enjoy. All right, guys, let's talk about AG1. You guys know I love AG1. If you've been listening to my show, you've heard me talk about them, and I've been drinking them for about 2 years now, and I love it. Never been a vitamins guy. I've told you that. I take it all one shot, AG1. I put it in a water bottle. I shake it up. I'm good to go. I recommend AG1 to my friends. I recommend AG1 to my family. Everybody. AG1 is a team of doctors and scientists. It is tested for 950 contaminants and NSF certified for sport. It is formulated based on the latest science and maintains high quality standards. You guys know they've been with us for a while because you guys know too.
You've all been checking them out, and everybody who's been signing up to AG1 says the same thing. It's changed your energy. It's changed how you approach things in the day. You're smiling more. You're running around the place, and you're sleeping better. I know. AG1 is the supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily. And that's why they've been a partner for so long. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/big thing. drinkag1.com/big thing. Check it out.
Let me tell you about Mack Weldon. Okay, so Mack Weldon in general, it is a really, really wonderful company. Because a lot of times you want something both ways, right? Me, you know that I lost weight, but I can't lose weight and keep firing down pizza. Can't do it. Because we always think that looking sharp means that you got to have the starchy, the Oxfords and the stiff chinos rather than the effortless comfort. It is possible to have it both ways. They have light as air underwear to innovative anti-odor tees and versatile yet comfortable pants. It is so great what Mack Weldon is doing. They have a full range of clothes, and I'm telling you, browse this site. You're going to lose your minds. It's the best. I got I'm always looking for the essentials in just like socks and underwear, and man, I got it. But then he sent me these pants. I have like the t-shirts are so smooth. I wear them I'm just comfortably around the house, but I can also, if I'm going, I put on like a suit jacket the other day and I put it on with it, and then the pants, they fit perfectly. And I had some really comfortable sweatpants. Oh, really great. Okay, now peacocking. You guys are peacocking? That's for the birds. Now, some guys, you just want to go out there, you want to look good without calling attention to yourselves. Well, Mack Weldon Apparel gives you understated good looks for understated confidence. It's not flashy, just classic, always in style, and made from the world's most comfortable performance materials. What that means usually, the performance fabric, usually means that clothes that look or feel techy or shiny, well, these are designed to fit your style and demands of modern life. So I just, I can't even tell you, like, this underwear is really comfortable. The sweatpants for me, I was wearing them the other day, and I just I like ones that just feel like I could go out, whether I'm just walking the dog, but I don't feel like, oh my God, people are looking at me. What am I wearing right now? We're just walking around the house in this, but it's stylish, man. I love it. Get timeless looks with modern comfort from Mack Weldon, but you got to go to mackweldon.com. You can get 20% off, which is pretty great, off your first order, but you got to use that code Big Thing. So head on over to mackweldon.com and use that code Big Thing. I ain't lying. I'm telling you, I'm wearing Mack Weldon right now. I love this company. Rocha, have you used them before?
No, it looks good on you though. I may be signing up, brother. That looks fantastic. Look at that shirt.
It's great. I'm not lying. Like the other day I put on the white one. My wife stopped. She goes, honey. And I was like, yeah, Mack Weldon. and then I have like these, my daughter, I walked my daughter to school. She's like, Dada, I like your pants. I was like, it's Mack Weldon. Like I wasn't as familiar with them. And then they sent me all this stuff. And man, you guys trust me on that. And as I keep telling people, you're going to love it. And of course, AG1 just gets me in that mood. Totally. Ready to go. All right, let's talk about some other stuff. What do you want to do first? You want to vent?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's vent.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to let you vent because look at this. Okay, so I'm going to start with the positive.
Okay, go ahead.
I respect Tony Kahn for what he did for wrestling. I think that what he did with AEW, the idea, like I remember when AEW was coming in, when we were doing Collider Live, and I was hyped for it. I liked the idea that they were going to value championships, and I do like the idea that they really focus on wrestling quality and those things, and they let the wrestlers be free and on promos and given the opportunity for more wrestlers to have jobs. I think that's a very admirable thing. He's a wrestling fan. Yeah. I just feel some of the decisions as of late have not been great. But look, I can say the same thing for many, many years of WWE, right? Where until recently, like I haven't been wanting to watch Raw and SmackDown weekly probably in 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years for me. Like where I would be like, oh, no, like even last night I was watching the draft. I was trying to watch it for 3 or 4 days. And my wife and my daughter come in. I go, I've been trying to watch this episode for 4 days. Can I finish this freaking draft? Which I still don't like the draft, but I was watching it. And AEW to me has been making the choice with showing the Punk footage we've talked about at length, disaster. Putting yourself in storylines, and maybe one of the worst falls I've ever seen anybody take when they get hit in the stomach. It was ridiculous. And I guess he gets pile drived or whatever happens. And then he goes on the draft, and good on him for trying to sell it to where, like, look, this is my company and I just pretended I took this bump, so I'm going to sell it. But if you're going to sell it, sell it.
Yeah.
So stupid. And then he's on ESPN talking smack and referring to the WWE as Harvey Weinstein. I mean, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, I just look, we had Tony on Strong Style for an hour. It was a great conversation. What a awesome guy, and I enjoyed having the conversation with him. But you know me, Kristian, I like to tell my point of view, my truth about it. I do have connections and appreciate people being on the show, but one things I appreciate about me is being authentic about my points of views, and seeing this stuff as the way it's progressed with Tony Kahn. It's just a shame to see with AEW. I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you saw the news, but DAZN just dropped them. VIX just dropped them in Latin American countries. And yes, there are excuses for that. Like, DAZN didn't put enough money into promoting it, blah, blah, blah. VIX, there was deals negotiated. So that wasn't the higher place to go in terms of being able to get the views. But still, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good when companies are walking away from you. Why are they doing it? Because the ratings are going down. They're signing incredible talent. Will Ospreay, a number of wrestlers recently from NJPW, Mercedes Moné, this incredible talent. Edge, they signed a few weeks ago as well. Like, this is all great.
Months ago.
It's not months ago, fine. It's not translating into views from the general overall wrestling audience. Collision is literally like a crash course. Rampage is nothing. Dynamite is all they have, really. And Tony Storm, who's doing incredible over there. So, but then you go and you violate something that you said you weren't going to do. And here's the thing. You can judge AEW as WWE all you want, and like, well, WWE do this and WWE do that. Sure, but Tony has put himself out there as a person who is a pure lover of wrestling, as a person who's going to do it right, as a person who is not going to be like WWE, as a person who is going to be different and better, and you can trust him and what he says. And here they're going down the Eric Bischoff NWO route, the Vince McMahon Corporation route, and it feels so inauthentic because Tony told us he was not going to put himself in the storylines. Tony told us he was not going to make himself the focus of any storylines. And here we go, setting up with the footage with Jack Jungle Boy there, and then with the Young Bucks, and then him getting beat up. It was a terrible fall. Oh my God, was it horrible. Then they did bring his dad in at the end, which was super ridiculous. And then he's wearing the neck brace. Now, I agree with you. The neck brace, great. Sell it, but not sell it moving left to right. And then the next night, or a couple nights later, you're dancing with one of your wrestlers with the neck brace on. So the thing is, if you're going to sell it, fully sell it. He sold it about as well as he sold Falling Down. And it just was terrible. The way they protected him on the pile driver, it just, all of it reeks of just lameness. And it's a shame.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're trying to build your business back up, especially when you taste that kind of success in the beginning, and people are like, oh, I remember when people were telling me, hey, you got to get back into it. AEW is really hot right now and it's better than WWE. Like, tons of people told me that.
The wrestling product is great. Yeah.
And I still think there's a way to, because of everything you just said, with all the talent that is there.
Yeah.
What I always hoped for, with the thing that I always liked, and I know that WWE can't really do this anymore, but I think AEW can. And I think WWE has done it more recently with when it comes to title matches, right? Like, I feel like Triple H values the championship way more than Vince McMahon did, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It feels like an event when the title, even on like Raw, SmackDown, like I don't like what they've been doing recently with the title fights. They stay on the announcer way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long. In the middle of it, they're like, and now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing first. So get off of both the announcers. What are you doing? Their voice is what is it? Stay on. Like when you're on UFC, and I can just watch UFC 300.
Oh, yeah.
And when Buffer's there from this, ladies and gentlemen, it starts with him, and then you go introducing first, and it's on the person.
Yeah,
The
right.
whole
Good
time.
point. Good point.
Don't get off. They're doing this stupid thing where I like the new angles that they're doing, but it's stupid. Get off the announcer. I don't care about the announcer's face. It's their voice.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but they build that up. I would like to see AEW maybe say, look, let's go back to what they did in like the late 80s, 60s, 70s. Let's make it feel like we're going to pretend that this is an actual, like not, it is all athletic and is all, but the actual, the sports side of it, where you used to have, when freaking Savage fought Hogan at WrestleMania 5, they built it for a year and it felt like the same way when you would have Hearns versus Hagler. You knew that Hogan was fighting Savage, and you built it up to where it was like boxing or UFC and treating. And because when you try to just replicate, good wrestling matches and try to do some certain storylines, we have that in a product that's just overshadowing you right now. Do something different.
Yeah, and the Harvey Weinstein thing, it just to me is like a little brother swinging out at the older brother. It basically WWE is holding AEW's head, and AEW is swinging wildly and not hitting anything. And I've spoken to a couple of people. I'm not going to mention them, but they were like, "I'm glad Tony is finally reacting and going after WWE." And a lot of people who are connected to Vince are still there, and I totally understand that. But that's not really like mainstream, understood, accepted knowledge. So you coming after them in this way feels petty. Yeah, super petty and way off base because Vince is gone. Vince sold his shares. Nick Khan just sold his shares, which I think is a massive bit of news as well. Yeah. So that to me tells me Nick's not long for the WWE himself, because I think he's involved in this Janelle Grant lawsuit himself. So
I think he's also going to open up the new federation with Vince.
Oh, maybe. Oh, my God, that would. Oh, I didn't even know that. If that's happening, that would be disgusting. Just
there's major rumors that Vince is starting his own thing. I would assume Nick Khan is going to go with him. You would assume, but which is interesting though, because anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I ask you guys here though too, as we talk about this particular story, if you follow the wrestling industry, of what do you think about the comments? Because I know what I don't want to do is because there are a lot of people, and I see it every week, there are a lot of AEW just fans of it in general, and I don't want to start a freaking turf war, because that's not what this is. It's a matter of so if you do back up the statements itself, then why? Just let us know. Tell us in the comments. We're going to switch to some movie news here, John. And I think that the one that we should talk about is this trailer that dropped today. This was the Barry Jenkins Mufasa. What's it called? Mufasa the Lion King, I guess. Look, I liked the Lion King remake with Favreau, what he did, but I liked it because I saw it at the time with she's 12 now, I guess, however old she was, 6 or 7 at the time when she saw it. She liked it as it was a shot by shot remake. It's all it was. I liked it because I was like, oh, what would the Lion King look like if there was actual animals running around the joint doing it? That's fun. And it's anybody saying it was just a remake, it didn't do anything, there's no reason for it to be made. I go, I get you. But the only reason I would say there's no reason to be made, $1 billion says differently.
$1.6 billion.
Right. Yeah. So because everybody had that curiosity of like, oh, what would a real talking lion look like? So now I watch this trailer and I almost feel the opposite. I say to myself, I would have loved to seen this in the old school animation way that they did the 94 Lion King.
With the hand.
I would rather see a prequel with the old school animation with Mufasa, with, if you're going to AI something or do something like this, then do the same thing you did for Vader's voice in Obi-Wan. Do it for Mufasa. You know what I mean? I think that this trailer looked very direct to DVD. I didn't think it looked good.
I like the trailer because it wasn't the shot for shot remake of The Lion King, which I myself didn't like as well. And it felt like it's got a different story to tell. I've never seen the snowy Pride Land. So what's that all about? I thought the photorealism was a lot better than the 2019 version of The Lion King. So we're getting a better quality product to watch and enjoy. I think, and it's a great cast. Like most of the cast from 2019 is coming back, and then some new additions like Kelvin Harrison Jr. And we're going back to the beginning. It's very reminiscent of the Transformers 1 thing, right? Where we're going back to the beginning and finding out what's the thing that separated these two people to turn them into mortal enemies, Mufasa and his brother Taka there. So that's going to be curious. But I mean, the two big things coming out of the trailer, Blue Ivy Carter is going to voice one of the characters. I imagine she's going to voice the daughter of Simba and Nala there, and Lin-Manuel Miranda doing the music for Mufasa
and not Moana.
Not coming back to do Moana too. Surprising, but I think also a smart career move for him. Maybe seeing there was more in this than there was in Moana 2.
Maybe. I mean, that came so hand in hand with Moana was his music.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Is Hans Zimmer doing the score for this one? I don't know.
No, it's a bunch of new people who haven't been involved
in the score. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, someone said as far as direct to DVD, yikes. And I said, well, yeah, but what I mean by that also is, you remember like when Michael Eisner was making those, they made a choice not to do the 2D sequels in theaters, right. But they would do them like they wanted to build up and make money. So they did Aladdin 2, Aladdin 3, Cinderella 2. They did all these movies on
half. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And this just seems like look, Barry Jenkins is a phenomenal director.
Yes.
Phenomenal director. I just think that this time for me watching it, the photorealism stuff just looked a little bit more janky. And I don't know, no pun intended. I don't know if Favreau's involved at all. I don't know. But I don't think so. But I mean, he was the one with this tech that really kind of brought it into the forefront. But the story could be good. I don't mind. I actually like the idea that they're doing a prequel to set him up. The thing that, and I'm not going to start getting into a Lion King lore discussion, but like their discussion, they have this talk that Mufasa and Simba have about, the lineage of the kings and all that. And in this, he says, well, he came from nothing. He's like, he came from nothing. I thought he was from the lineage of kings. It's like, well, it's not connected to the animated version. I'm like, I now this is where my brain hurts. I'm like, I'm just going to watch the movie and enjoy it for what it is. It's like, but as I said beforehand, will this movie play to my 6.5-year-old?
100%.
Right. If it does, and I take her to the theater and she likes it, it's a win.
Yeah.
So, and in the same way with the Transformers 1 conversation, which I tend, you get the mouth breeders that go, hey, you dumb idiots, it's for kids. Yeah, fine. It's for kids. And if my 6-year-old loves it, then great. It's a win for them. But it doesn't mean that I have to think it looks good in the same way that I think that this doesn't look as good as the other stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. But I hope it's good. And Barry Jenkins is an incredible filmmaker, an Academy Award-winning filmmaker. So, and a lot of people said, because this is only like 90 seconds, this trailer, there was a little bit more at CinemaCon. A lot of people came away very impressed by that. So we'll see though, if at the end, and if it makes over $1 billion, then, all of us can be quiet about it if there are any issues, because it clearly was successful and that's what they want out of this thing.
It's going to make money. It doesn't matter where it's going to make money. I believe it's really the only game in town as far as kids stuff, for the most part, on in December, which is when people want to, and even if it isn't, it's let's see what the actual competition is.
Yeah.
In December you've got, so I think this still has Karate Kid listed, which is not that's got moved, and we'll talk about that story next. But December, there's something called Night Bitch, whatever the hell that is. That's not going to be competition.
Andrew Adams, yeah.
Okay. Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim is Warner Brothers. That's December 13th. And then December 20th. Oh, well, I stand corrected.
Sonic.
I stand corrected. It goes up against Sonic the same weekend.
Wow.
That's a battle.
That is going to be a battle.
That's a battle. So Sonic 3 versus Mufasa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a battle. So maybe it's not going to be any, because in those, if the first Sonic hadn't come out, I would have been wrong and brushed deciding on it's going to kill Sonic. No one's going to care about Sonic. Both those movies, A, were really good.
Yeah.
And B, made a lot of money.
They did. And they keep spinning off. The Knuckles thing debuted over the weekend, the Knuckles series on Paramount Plus. So it's a growing franchise, this Sonic franchise. So yeah, it's got a big footprint now.
Yeah, and I've seen people in the comments saying that they would much rather see this than Mufasa. Yeah. So, and it goes back to that kind of just original. I guess Sonic isn't necessarily original, but it's it's different. We've had the Lion King for so long, and I guess the live action stuff where Disney is kind of going to the well one too many times. I don't know, but if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. We'll see. But I just didn't necessarily love this trailer. Seems like a lot of people did. But yeah, I mean, well, that's a good question though too. I know that my 12-year-old would take Sonic over Mufasa because, especially now, because she's into video games and really like the Sonic movies. I want to show my 6.5-year-old the Sonic movies because I don't believe she's really watched them.
Okay.
And then I would say to her, I'm gonna take her to see both, but I'm gonna say to her, you only get one. Which one would you see? And what did she say last night, dude? How she's picking things up. I know she goes, I can't leave this room. This is a travesty. Is what 6.5-year-old. Travesty.
I know you don't want to hear this, and I'm sure your wife doesn't want to hear this, but you got to put her on TikTok. I'm just telling you right now.
Chance.
Put her on TikTok, dude.
No chance.
You'll have 5 million overnight.
Yeah, I'll take the sacrifice and not have it. Yeah, no chance. I don't want my kids anywhere near this business. Anyway,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I know it's true. So that's it. That's what we got for that weekend. And then speaking of, let's jump to that Sony story because I think that's probably relevant.
I want to recruit your daughter to do pay-per-view premium live events and I want to
for
bring her on my channel and me and her just watch the
Did
pay-per-view.
Did I tell you what she said about Cody Rhodes?
No, you told me the Becky Lynch stuff. What was the Cody Rhodes stuff?
Cody Rhodes stuff is hilarious. I've told this story once before on the air, but Cody Rhodes is hilarious. We were watching WrestleMania 1 and WrestleMania Night 1, and everybody is cheering for Cody and too. And I'm like, everyone's excited. So Cody hits the ring, and my 6.5-year-old goes, boo. And I go, Cody? I go, what are you booing Cody for? He's a good guy. You don't like good guys? She's like, yeah, I like him, but I don't like his hair. I go, you don't like his hair? She's like, no, if he changes his hair, I like him. I go, oh, okay. I was like, well, what else? She's like, yeah, but The Rock beat him up and threw him into a bus. And I go, yeah, but The Rock's a bad guy. She goes, I don't care. Still embarrassing. Wow. So good.
I'm scared that you're moving her to New York.
I know.
Moving away from New York.
She's Joe Pesci. She really is. She's total Joe Pesci. Anyway, let's jump to this.
All right, bro.
Kraven, the fart hunter for now. Only for now. If it's and there's nothing against Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's just because of the Sony's is chasing farts left and right. And so right now it's a fart hunter, but it could change. Maybe it's good. And this is, as much as I say something getting moved is not a good thing, maybe it is. And so Sony moved some stuff. Let's talk about exactly what it is. Sony moved both Karate Kid and Kraven.
Yeah.
So they delayed it by a few months, right? So this is, as we said, Karate Kid was supposed to come out in December of this year, but Sony has shaken up its release date schedule with a number of major delays. Whatever. First up, Sony and Marvel's Kraven the Hunter has been pushed back from a Labor Day weekend opening of August 30th. And this is like the second or third time it's been pushed. It was supposed to come out last year. It was supposed to come out in January. Anyway, so it's opening August 30th to December 13th. So it's pushing to December. So that's interesting, making it the only R-rated movie during the holidays. In its new slot will also snag IMAX and PLF screens. It marks the second major delay for the title, which was originally slated to open late 2023 before moving back almost to August. Also moving out is the reboot of Karate Kid, starring Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, and Daniel Wu. Originally slated for December 13th, is now going to be pushed back to May of 2025, pushing it out in the height of next summer. The delay also makes certain that the new Karate Kid will follow in the wake of the 6th and final season of Cobra Kai on Netflix. Also joining the calendar is the Blumhouse title, They Listen, which will take that late August 4-day Labor Day weekend this year. I'll tell you, as much as I think that Sony makes really bad moves, especially in the Spider-Man, this is a good move.
Yeah.
It's a good move. You probably have some confidence in Kraven to push it into December because you move out of August is kind of like let's hope it hits.
Right.
It's still summer, guys. So it's not January and it's not September. So I promise you it could be good. That's what August usually is, right? Yeah. December means we got confidence in this thing.
Yeah. Remember, this is right around when the kids are getting out of school.
Yep.
So there's going to be more time to go to the theater to see this one. Remember that Aquaman made over $1 billion coming out in December. Aquaman 2, 400 million plus coming out in December. So this is a place where it can be successful, and it's got more of an opportunity to be successful if it catches on in some way. So I think this is a smart move. There's not a lot of competition other than Sonic and maybe Mufasa around December at this point. I think it's the only superhero movie coming out in December. So in that way, it kind of corners that market in a way. So, and people are going to be curious. And if it gets decent reviews, then you've given it a launch pad to go into January and really make a lot of money, because as we saw with Wonka came out in January, made all kinds of money. So
if it's good, it's still a risk, because it's still competition, whether it's, Sonic, Mufasa, whatever it is, it's still competition. It's different audiences in a certain aspect, but it's still competition. But it means you have confidence in it. And if it's good, then it delivers, well, then it's not a bad choice. But you also, you're rolling the dice in December. But if you're rolling it with quality, then fine. But if it turns out this thing's a fart piece and they should have kept it in August, then it's going to look like a stupid move. The Karate Kid side of it is also a good move, and means there's two things. One, I agree with the decision of let's build up our last season of Cobra Kai. They put Karate Kid back on the map. They earn that respect. We got to let them close it out. The hype will be real to say, oh, we had their final season. Well, don't worry. Ralph Macchio this is like a bookend to all of it after it's all said and done. And you can do a couple reshoots if you wanted to. It comes out in May. What a way to just end the franchise. A little weird to put the movie out first. Not even address any of the things that happen in the movie, in the actual series. But in my same argument, you're going in May in 2025. And 2025, as I will discuss with Roxy and Brett, and I discussed with Mance on Patreon, is maybe the most stacked year of movies in a very long time. May right now, this is before the Karate Kid being even slated in this. You've got Thunderbolts, P-31, Megan 2.0, an untitled Warner Brothers event film, Mission Impossible 3, and another untitled Warner Brothers event film coming out in May of 2025. So it's not as stacked as June and July, obviously, but it's still a time to, to prove your worth.
It's going to be a good year, 2025. If you were thinking of starting a YouTube channel, start it now, because 2025 is when you're going to really be going crazy with the amount of content you can talk about and get through, for sure. And this reminds me of 2018, that summer, where it was like one tentpole after another in the summer. This is an entire year full of stuff, because the studios want to make up for what they think is going to be a little bit of a downturn year this year in 2024. So it makes all the sense in the world to try to shove your stuff over there to get the attention, because people are going to be hyped up for everything. And I think it's a smart move. Plus, you give it a little time to breathe. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they got the series coming out, as you said. So give it some time to breathe. People are going to look forward to it. You can build up to it. It felt already that they weren't building it up enough to it. And we were in the about to be in the 5th month of the year. And I was like, oh yeah, there's a Karate Kid film. So to me, I think this is where they can have a little more time to do the big build up for it. So
agreed. All right, so we got some questions that I think we can. I'll probably cover if there's any more Deadpool stuff, or if somebody wants to ask a question about it. We can cover it in the questions or later. But I want to get to the questions. But before we do, as I tell you guys each and every week, and I just told you about two of our wonderful sponsors, I can also tell you what I'm really pumped about is the fact that, and I think that I've talked to you guys about it. How important it is with the sponsorships, and how we only kind of sign up with people that we really like. And so I got two more, which I've always Magic Spoon. I know you've gotten on the Magic Spoon. So Magic Spoon, and for golfers, I don't know how many golfing peeps I got out there, but PXG, I got to tell you about both of them. Here you go. As you guys know, and I got that yesterday. I'm so excited for somebody to reach out to me yesterday and told me how much they're loving Magic Spoon, and I'm so glad that you told me about Magic Spoon, because I absolutely love it. And I'm so glad that you do, because last night I got the new, they have honeygram ones now, which is great, because I had a New Year's resolution to cut back on sugar, add more protein. I did it. And people love cereal. you get older, it's harder to do that for just because there's so much sugar and kind of empty carbs. Well, Magic Spoon has everything. It's got the flavor that you love. It's got high protein, less sugar. They have cocoa. They have fruity, frosted peanut butter. I told you, I just had this new graham cracker thing that I love. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 140 calories a serving. So good. High protein. And 0 sugar. It's amazing. If you go to magicspoon.com/big thing and you grab a variety pack and you try it today, but you got to use our promo code, use big thing at checkout, and you save $5 off your order. It's so amazing. They're so confident in it, by the way, and they should be. It's backed with 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, they refund your money, no questions asked. So start your new protein diet today here with this stuff. It's a delicious bowl of high protein cereal. You go to magicspoon.com/big thing. Use that code, big thing.
Golfers, you know that PXG is on a mission to create the most high-quality, high-performance golf clubs in the game. Well, they're bringing the same passion for excellence to their new line of apparel, and I gotta say, they nailed it. I told Riley about this. Riley lost his mind. Riley was in the depths of having a new baby, but he was able to get some golfing in. I don't know how he did it, but he did it, and he loved it. He told me all about it. It was made with premium materials and technology designed for peak performance. These confidence-inspiring looks invite all-day play, taking you seamlessly from the course to the office to a night in the town. From golf trips to romantic getaways, these dynamic pieces add versatility and standout style to every event. PXG apparel has something for everyone. Pants, polos, sweaters, hats, quarter zips, joggers, jackets, skirts, everything that you want. I got this hat and this shirt, man. This shirt is slick. Love that shirt. It's my color too. I like that. So they're really comfortable. You guys know I like my hats. I like my black hats, and I like this hat. It's very comfortable, and I dig it. You'll see me wearing it a lot. It's great because they're designed for the course. They block out the sun. This shirt is really comfortable and perfect for the course. You can even wear it out. I will have meetings with this. I'll go to breakfast with this. Elevate your style game on and off the course with the PXG Spring Summer 2024 collection. You got to go to pxg.com/thebigthing. Again, pxg.com/thebigthing. We got to use that code, thebigthing. Get 10% off of all apparel. My golfing friends are losing their minds over this stuff. They're already using the code. You will too. So one more time, 10% off. Go to pxg.com/thebigthing and use that code, thebigthing. Thank you to PXG and Magic Spoon. I saw people saying, "Oh, I forgot to re-sign up to Magic Spoon." Good on you. It's the best. It's the best snack. I love it, and it really has helped me lose a lot of weight. PXG. Yes, someone said, "Will I be wearing those polos in New York?" Damn right. And I'll tell you. Look, I got my hat on. I got my hat on now too. So I will tell you also that they are great, and I also want to shock them, PXG, because they're like, I don't know, maybe your audience doesn't like golf. I know a lot of you guys like golf. Sign up to PXG. I want to prove them wrong. Anyway, all right, bringing in Johnny.
Yep.
All right, let's get to some of these questions, man. We got a lot of them. We got a fair amount today, John. Fair amount. So probably have you out of here early today.
Yeah, I gotta be done just before noon. We got a bank a meeting I got to get to. So okay. Let's get it.
Let's do it. All right. So Dat Boy 22, over under 50% of this match makes it to round 2. He's talking about Paul and Tyson. I would say over 50%. It'll get to round 2.
Yeah, it has to. They got to make that money.
It shouldn't, but
right.
I mean, there is a part of me, and it's nothing against Jake Paul. I don't like I said, I respect what him and his brother have done in general for sports. But I think I would wouldn't even be secretly. If I do, I probably do a live reaction to it. I'm probably I'll be like, that's what you need to do because you're the best.
Yeah.
You know, if he takes him out in the first, for sure. It'd be nice to see Tyson like just one more run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Renee Reyes. Will there be a steak dinner bet between you for the Jake versus Tyson fight? Personally, I think Jason KOs Tyson in the later rounds. I think you and I are on the same page with that.
On the same page.
Yeah. So I don't think there needs to be, unless I was like, yeah, Jake Paul's going to knock Tyson out within 23 seconds. Yeah. Hank Pym. Raw and SmackDown Live last week was great. I got Becky's autograph on Monday and had my draft Rocha sign. Oh, yeah, we saw that on Friday. How long until Cody versus Gunther? They're going to have to build to that, Cody versus Gunther. And because I don't want to see, that to me is a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
They're probably going to wind up doing The Rock or something again, but I think you do Rock for SummerSlam or something else too. I'd rather look. The argument would be, look at the ratings, and they're not wrong that if you put The Rock versus Cody next year and The Rock can still do it, it makes all the sense in the world to do it.
Yeah.
But I want to see Gunther for sure. I think he is such a good blend of old school and new school. He's great.
You got to leave the belt on him for a year. You've got to see what he can do.
Yeah.
How he can do with the belt. It's such a long run with Roman. You got to have him, because Backlash is this weekend, by the way. I don't know if anybody noticed.
Yeah.
Backlash is this weekend. He's fighting AJ. Then you put him up against Rock at SummerSlam. Then maybe at Royal Rumble, you put him up against Gunther as a first time out. And then there's other stuff that happens. You can swing back to Gunther at next year's WrestleMania, possibly, if the run is not going well. If there's negative feedback, if it's not pulling, then you can make the jump to Gunther and see what you got. But don't rush.
Is Cody hurt with his shoulder? Is that a real injury?
There's rumors that he's hurt, but he said he was fine on the social media.
Okay.
So he said he was fine. Yeah.
Okay.
MJF is the one to be worried about. He's legitimately hurt.
What happened to him?
He got hurt a while ago and has not recovered yet, and now he's going in for surgery. So
no,
it's going to be a bit till we see MJF.
He's still young.
Yeah, he is.
King Sport Cal. I would say this. King Sport Cal. Paul has always went up against fighters that are older or MMA fighters, not boxers. Logan about to F around and find out. We'll love that outlaw.
Calvin.
Yeah, listen, man. There's nothing wrong with that logic.
No,
there's nothing wrong with that logic. Like you can absolutely see. You can see where he's going up against someone again, even at 60 years old. Like the way Tyson just moves, like this thing. Like there was always like he's got this defense, and if he actually can tune back in, when Tyson was disciplined, there's no beating a disciplined Tyson
because he was smart and he was quick and he knew the game.
He was a student of the game. This guy used to watch Jack Dempsey fights. Everything. He's a student of the game, and then he just relied on, even when he came back when he was in prison. It was less of the Customato Rooney style and more of the let's just try to take you out with one big shot. And there's only so long you can do that. And his heart wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
And especially when Holyfield, I don't want to say exposed isn't the right word, but when I should say when Holyfield exposed that game that he was playing then.
Yes.
That's when Tyson was like because I still would have loved to have seen a prime Holyfield, prime Tyson. They were both in the range where Holyfield was, still like the 90. What was it, 96 when they fought in that first fight? Like they were both had all their skills, but I would have liked to seen like a 91 when they were supposed to fight, like a 91 Tyson versus 90. Yeah. Well, right before that happened. Yeah, that's what I want to see. There's actually a reference in a Wu-Tang song when they're talking about the Holyfield and Tyson fight. It's amazing.
Jake Paul should do a remake of I Think I Can Beat Mike Tyson, the Will Smith, the old DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about that song.
You should do a remake of that immediately.
That's great. Johnny Patrizia. Apparently Ryan Reynolds is producing a Biker Mice from Mars movie. If you guys could pick between a He-Man and Thundercats movie, what would it be? Oh man. Well, Wingard wants to do Thundercats and he's already working on it. So here's the crazy thing. If you're going to tell me if the question is done right, then there's no doubt it's He-Man. It's science meets science fiction, or science meets magic. Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars. If you did that and you had like a real good director who got it and understood it and knew the lore and knew how to like really turn that old school Cartoon Network series into that, I would say He-Man. But as it stands today, out of the two, like Thundercats, you listen to the way Wingard talks about it. Wingard is a fan of this stuff and wants to get it going. So you're going to have a better shot of getting it right with that. They've tried it many times over to get him. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, my choice would be Thundercats. I love Thundercats. I've always chose that over He-Man. I've enjoyed the most recent He-Man stuff that Kevin Smith did. I really enjoyed that. But at the end of the day, to me, it's about Thundercats. And there's so much to explore and get right in Thundercats. If they got that right, I think you could launch a massive franchise with spin-offs as well. So I'd be down with Thundercats for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Al Rencha. Tyson will lose control and KO Paul. Can't wait.
You're
Well,
talking
maybe.
Bull, Tyson.
The new rules are bull. It's not real. What do you mean it's not real? They said it's not a professional fight. How is that not real?
Yeah.
They said it's not professional. You
Yeah,
can't
Calvin,
fake-
don't listen to Calvin. Calvin's got his own points of views on things.
he said it's not real. You can't if you say it's exhibition and if you lose, you don't get a 0 and you don't get a mark on your record. And then if it's professional, that's not. There's no. I don't understand what you mean there. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so Robbo, cheers. Thanks, Robbo. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Okay, let's keep going. We got some more.
Okay.
Oh, this is a good. The Random channel.
Hey,
Kristian, you and Rocha could talk about farts for the whole show. I still watch. Thank you. That's a very, very kind thing to say and a very, very kind super chat overall. Your fans tuning in for you first. The topics are second. I think that is true to people like yourself. I think that is true to people who are here today watching this particular stream. And as I said, I did an experiment today to see by leading with this particular topic. I do think there are people who subscribed to the channel because they saw a few different topics that interest them. And they go, well, he's not talking about that today. That I don't want. And it's totally fair. And I don't want to watch it. But it's also why I'm going heavy into interviews soon. I'm actually today getting on a phone call with to start the plan to get the interviews back because my goal is to have 2 big guests a month. That's the goal because I feel that's how this channel will grow. Because I want to go big, John. I want to go big. I want to go from 200,000 in a year to 500,000. I want to go to 500 to 1 million because that's how. And I want to get into where people know that this is a place to go to talk about their projects and to talk about life and that's what I want to do. Pete Parker, 2288. Any words on apes? Hasn't there been some bad buzz? I have hopes for Mufasa because of the Lin music. I don't think he's done a bad soundtrack yet. Well, yeah, he's a musical genius. So whatever he's doing in general, the songs will be good. As far as apes, I've actually heard the opposite. The only person that I heard say that there was like a bad test screening was Snyder. After that, I've heard some really good stuff about it. I agree. Yeah, a few people have said it was just incredible. I've heard somebody who told me, I can't say who the person was, who said it was absolutely incredible and that I particularly will love it. That's what they told me.
That was Wes Ball. I think it was.
Yeah, he called me. Yeah.
Tell him you loved it.
I know.
Yeah, I hear you. I have 3 people who've seen it, who I know through studio sources, and all 3 of them say it's incredible. So, so we'll see.
We'll see. Yes, boy. Any old animated series that you wish would get the updated treatment like X-Men 97? I would like a new story, the Old Man Batman Beyond series. Rambo. Remember that old Rambo cartoon?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see a serious Netflix Rambo series.
Ooh.
Right?
I like where you're going with that.
At first you go, oh, wait a minute. Like a real serious dealing with like the dark issues of soldiers and all that kind of stuff in animated form. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, the PTSD,
or a Rambo movie in animated
stuff. Yeah, I love that idea. It's a good idea.
See? That's what I do. Mad Sinister
Rockin' All Stars.
Do you have one? Did you say what you said? Did you
I was going to say Hulk Hogan's Rockin' All Stars. Let's bring it back.
Great one. Well done. Mad Sinister McCall. My favorite Schmoes review is Elysium. Mark gave that movie a 5 out of 5, and you were shocked, as was I. The Big Thing is great. Better than overrated snore gun. Oh wow. Then like the Shogun. I actually watched. I watched episode 1 with my wife last night. I watched the whole thing. It's great. It's great. Yeah, it's great. And my wife dug it too. And there's some moment because it's like you got to like really lock into it and kind of like, oh, what's happening here? Oh, and you kind of see where it's going to go from the way they set it up at the end of the first one. And I'm about 5 episodes into Fallout. So I caught up on some stuff, but my goal is to be able to review at least Fallout this week. But yeah, I think but as far as that Elysium goes, I have to watch that again. I think that the big one I give the big reaction to is what was that movie, the Michael Bay war movie that he did?
Pearl Harbor?
No.
13 hours.
That's what it was. It was 13 hours. That's the reaction. He gave that one a 5 out of 5, and I lost my mind. I was like, what are you talking about? 5 out of 5 for that movie. Francisco Lopez. Hey guys, I love pro wrestling. I love WWE and AW, but TK and AW should stop talking about WWE on this show because it's not helping. I totally agree.
It isn't. It's not. I see people going, yeah, it's finally, you should attack. It'll get more attention. No, this is like the USFL talking about the NFL. And people know who the big dog in the yard is. Just focus on your product and build it up, and it eventually, hopefully, will match it at some point down the road. Then you've accomplished something. Talking about them now feels like sour grapes, and as you said, petty, man.
Because if the WWE was in a position where they're like, oh, they're on the ropes right now, go after them. Say like, hey, I know that they're not delivering right now, but we are. Come check us out.
Yeah.
I get it. But they just had the biggest WrestleMania ratings for Peacock that they ever had. Yeah. They're firing off on all cylinders right now. The product is bringing in new fans, old fans back. It's doesn't work right now. Future Millionaire. It's one of my favorite tag screens. Hey, Kristian, if Rocha hasn't done so already, please convince him to put his channel up in a podcast form. I think you can reach more listeners. All your shows are on podcasts, aren't they?
Yeah, we have the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network. But the thing is, I've split out a lot of my shows into separate podcast feeds. So the Hot Mic has its own podcast feed. The Geek Buddies has its own podcast feed. And I'm about to spin out the Jedi Way into its own podcast feed, because that's the way I can monitor certain things about the podcasts and how they're separately doing. But I hear you, and I have plans to start doing a regular podcast on my own channel where I just kind of talk about whatever I want to talk about. So kind of build up more listeners on that way. So, but good suggestion, man. Good suggestion.
Yeah. The Dart 005. How's the Shogun season review coming along? Hopefully before season 2. Well, I guess gave the update without seeing that. The Shogun one, the Fallout will definitely come first because Fallout, my wife is not watching with me. So I can knock out 2-3 episodes in a sitting. It took 5 days to just get her to watch the first one. And we finished it last night. And so tonight I have a screening. I'm going to see Fall Guy.
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah. So Fall Guy will be tonight's viewing, and then tomorrow hopefully will be Shogun episode 2. Me, I would watch every episode. I would watch until there's 8 episodes, right?
10.
Those 10. So for the next 10 to 14 days, I would be watching Shogun.
Yeah.
My wife, after a while, after like 3 years, like, let's watch something different tonight instead. We'll come back to it. So it'll be at least a month or 2 before I get to Shogun. I'm not trying to BS anybody, but as far as Fallout will probably come sooner than later. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Anything else? It might be it. No.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Kingsport. There he is. I always subscribe to what you do, no matter if I like it or not. The schmoes is a big thing to me. Love you all. I'm gonna give you shit. No, dude, you are in here every Monday, and you are super supportive. You are super active. You are super passionate. You always throw in super. We always we throw hands, but then we shake hands afterwards, which I love about it. So no, I give nothing but respect for you as well too, man. Thank you for your continued support, and I appreciate the very kind words. Very nice.
Thank you, Calvin.
Yeah, Johnny Patriza Rocha, who's your pick for the EPL winner? I hope Arsenal can get the job done. To which, let me tell you what I just heard. I'll tell you what this is what I heard.
Look, Arsenal look unbeatable right now, but we know they stumble. And I just have a feeling Man City is just too indomitable and will eventually catch them. That Manchester United Arsenal game is going to be the game. Like they barely handled Tottenham after taking a 3-0 lead. So we'll see what happens. But I just have a feeling like Manchester City is just going to eventually just suffocate them at the end. So, but who knows? It could be Arsenal's year. Certainly not our year for F's sake. Right?
Totally agree. I would say that Arsenal is going to beat the Arsonists in a fire of a banger.
Yeah,
fire of a banger.
Fire
of a banger. All right, John. Oh, you got one more. Josh Vaskovich, excuse me. Just want to say you guys are great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your entertainment, knowledge, humor, and overall authenticity. Thank you very much. Those are very nice comments when those come in here. We're doing the right thing. Yeah. Thank you very much, Josh. That was very kind of you.
Yeah.
John, tell them where to find you. What are you doing today? What do you got?
Yeah, you can find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch, my YouTube channel, the little YouTube channel that could. You can follow me at The Rocha. You can follow it there, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. That's where it is. Or type in The Outlaw Nation and my last name, ROCHA, and you'll find it there. Subscribe, hit that bell button. We got so much going on. I just dropped my reaction for Mufasa. I'm probably going live later on tonight. Want to talk about my reviews for a couple of films that came out over the weekend and some other news that pops up today here in the world of entertainment and whatever else I want to talk about. So I'm trying to make that more of of a weekly thing, just going live and having fun, talking with everybody and touching base with everybody. So come and hang out with me there. And of course, Hot Mike, Geek Buddies, Jedi Way, all that happening this week.
We do have one more here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Kristian needs some motivation today. Can you have Big Balls tell me to get back to work on this comic?
Ooh.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, Wicked Odd. Listen to me. You're the only one that likes my little ass. And you put me in comics, you put me in stuff, and you're going to sit back and you're going to be lazy about it? Come on, man. I got people want me off this motherfucking channel. People want me off. They go, get rid of that little chipmunk. Bring in the robot. They want my little ass gone. You can't let it happen. You got to put me in there and let me fight robots and stuff and kicking ass and effing bitches. Come on, man. You can do it. Get your ass together. Pick up that pen and stick it in my...
Hey, cut that out.
Whoa.
Cut that out. Big Balls. Please.
Thanks.
Oh, wait. We got more. We got more.
Wow.
I got more.
All right.
Aaron. Aloha from Hawaii. Big fan of you guys. Big fan of you.
Thank you.
Hawaii. I got to get back to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Problem is now with Hawaii, because Hawaii's Maui's like my favorite place.
Yeah.
And I wanted, and I've been there twice, and I wanted to go at least one more time. But now I'm adding in another 6 hours to the flight. I can't do those. I can't do the long. Like I'm taking off hours for an eventual Europe trip, which I've never been.
Wow.
That's great. I'm taking many hours off now, but I'm adding hours to Hawaii. I'm not excited about that. Okay. Have you guys watched season 1 of Invincible? I thought it was incredible. Zach Woolley writes that. I have not yet. Did you, John? People love it.
Yeah. Well, season 1 I finished. Season 2 just finished, and I have to catch up. So probably the next couple of days I'll finish off season 2 of Invincible. And the Geek Buddies, we might do a review. We've been talking. So
oh man, Paul Carson doesn't know about. Hold on a second. Paul Carson doesn't know who Paul is.
Hey, man. Paul Carson, what's with the voice? What's with your voice? You silly little ass. I am Big Balls, and I run this joint. Now, Rocha, get out of here before my nuts in your face.
Yeah, I don't want that. All right, thank you guys. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. See you, Kristian.
Little bitch ass. That's right. Oops.
All right. Nice to have everybody here. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know. This is fun. I would say Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are fine. Listen, please, if you can, look at, I gave you some bangers today with AG1, Magic Spoon, PX1, everybody, like PXG. I've told you about everybody, AG1. They're the best. And I hope that you guys will go on over there. The links are in the description. I always put the top thing. And then obviously Mac Weldon it up. All right, you guys rule. Thanks for joining me here today. And we'll see you soon. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye.